Over the past 5 years working in SEO, I've helped e-commerce stores generate millions of dollars in additional organic revenue. And at this point, it's actually quite easy for me to do. So in this video, I'm going to show you the lessons that I've learned over all these years that have worked for my clients that I really wish I knew when I started. And if you don't believe any of this, well, here's the proof. Here's a screenshot from Google Analytics that shows a store that over a year we increased revenue in 26%, adding almost $600,000 of additional organic revenue. Here's another store where we increased the organic revenue in 33%, and that meant an additional $250K in organic revenue. This other store, we increased revenue in 40%, which meant $188,000 in organic revenue additional. And this other store, we increased it in over 100%, which meant almost $150,000 in organic revenue additional for this store. Finally, here's another example with an increase of 24%, which was almost $120,000 in additional organic revenue. And these are not cherry-pick results. These are just examples of the results we normally get. So what I'm about to show in this video is how to get the most organic revenue from your store, how to use SEO to lower your customer acquisition costs, and how to only focus on what really matters. So whether you're managing an e-commerce brand, you're an e-com director, you're an e-com store owner, or you're looking to hire an e-commerce SEO agency, I hope this video helps you save time, helps you avoid really expensive mistakes, and helps you get results faster. So let's dive into lesson number 1. When I first moved from in-house to running my agency full-time, one of my first clients sold homewares. Their hero range was cushions, but everything sat on one broad cushions collection page. So round, rectangular, feather, linen, all of these different types of cushions were dumped into a single page, and people had to dig around to find what they wanted. The page had bad rankings for that broad keyword, and people searching for more specific terms landed on competitor pages instead that were more dedicated to the type of cushion they were looking for. So there was demand, but no page that actually matched it. Once we broke that single cushions page into tightly targeted sub-collections, for example, a round linen cushions page or a feather-filled rectangular cushions page, and so on, those pages become proper entry points for Google. Traffic increased, customers found what they wanted and fast, and sales followed. So lesson number 1, break broad collections into specific sub-collections that match search intent, because Google has no reason to rank your general page over a dedicated page from a competitor. That's how you capture high intent buyers without paying for ads, lifting organic revenue, and improving your cash flow. Lesson number 2, I work with a fashion brand doing well with Facebook and Instagram ads, but rarely showing up in search. Their best-selling line was linen wide leg pants, yet the main collection they had was simply called bottoms. Not even pants, just bottoms. From a customer and a Google point of view, bottoms could really mean anything. It could mean jeans, shorts, skirts, actually anything. And nobody searching for linen pants or wide leg linen pants was going to find them at all. And if they did, the chances was that was going to be buried on page 5 of Google or something like that. So we renamed the pages so they were brutally clear. Bottoms became linen pants. On the other hand, the generic tops page became linen shirts, and so on. Suddenly the site spoke the same language as its customers. Search traffic grew, and even the ad targeting improved because the structure reflected the real product demand. So lesson number 2 is use descriptive names for niche product ranges. It might look less minimal, but people prefer clarity, and it turns existing traffic into buyers. It grows profit without increasing ad spend. Lesson number 3. In my first in-house SEO role, we sold portable office partitions. These things that are used to divide up open offices so you have more dedicated workstations and spaces so people can sort of concentrate and not be in this super open space. And after a couple of years, we owned almost every valuable keyword in the niche. Then one day, Google gave us something big, a number 1 ranking for the broad term partitions. The owner expected a wave of inquiries and a big revenue jump. When we checked the numbers, the problem is nothing happened. No spiking leads, no meaningful lift in sales at all. And the reason was obvious. Partitions could mean anything. It can mean office partitions, bathroom partitions, any other type of furniture, even computer partitions when you want to sort of divide the hard drive on your computer. So even though it was a high volume keyword for the niche, most of the searchers weren't our buyers. They weren't our customers. They weren't looking to buy office partitions. So we got visibility, but not visibility that matters. And it didn't translate into revenue. So lesson number 3 is to never chase a broad vanity keyword like that one. You got to focus on descriptive pages and win specific terms that actually convert, that actually represent what you sell. And that's where your profit and that's where your return on investment actually comes from, not from the vanity metrics of high volume keywords. Lesson number 4, a pattern I see constantly is brands mixing very different products in one collection for simplicity. One client sold men's and women's underwear on a single page. Men scrolled through women's products and women through men's, and nobody felt like the page was truly for them. The same issue appears when socks and underwears or gym gear and swimwear are all bundled in together. You know, a classic page is an accessory page that you have all sorts of things that are all really different types of products. Different products, different buyers, different intent, all smashed into one URL. When that happens, Google really doesn't know what to rank those pages for. And customers don't feel understood either. Once we split the categories by intent, men's underwear's on one page, women's on another, and we sorted all these conjoined categories or collection pages into things that were more specific, rankings, click-through rates, and conversion rates improved because it was clear what each page was actually about. And this not only helped for SEO and Google, it also just helped customers find what they actually wanted. So lesson number 4, don't conjoin fundamentally different products. Create separate collections by intent, so each page speaks to a specific buyer. Lesson number 5. A while back, I consulted with a luxury couch brand. They had a hero product in 3 materials: vegan leather, leather, and velvet. And each of these had 10 colors available. Everything lived under one product page with a branded name, something like, I'm going to make this up, the pretty couch. And all of these alternatives were coded as variations. The problem is, nobody was searching for the pretty couch. People that wanted to buy these type of products were actually searching for vegan leather couch or green leather couch or red velvet couch and so on. Because all the variations sat under one URL, Google only saw one generic product called the pretty couch and had nothing specific to rank for, as there was no search demand for the pretty couch. It didn't know it had to associate that page with all these very specific terms that people were trying to find and that these products actually were. So when we split out key material and color combinations into either proper different products or collection pages, the doors for traffic opened up. We started winning keywords and got in front of the people looking for these types of couches, and all without more ad spend. So lesson number 5 is don't bury high value variations under one product. If there is search demand, you can turn key materials and colors and their combinations, if you have enough search demand, into their own pages. And that's a great way to unlock new organic revenue. Lesson number 6. So this is a new e-commerce website project where we launched a new e-commerce site and tried to do it all on day one. Around 50 collections in a single push. It looked impressive, but it was a new site that had no authority whatsoever, and we didn't have the budget to sort of support that amount of pages at once. So the small amount of authority we could give it, we spread it so thin that nothing really moved. And from Google's point of view, we just had 50 weak pages instead of 10 strong ones. Rankings and revenue took much longer than normal to sort of show up. So it sort of delayed the return on investment on that work that we did. And when we looked back at it, the mistake was obvious. Like if we'd started a little bit smaller with a stronger core that we could support better and expanded in stages up to those 50 collection pages, the momentum would have been built a lot faster. So since then, my approach has been quite simple. Start with a focused set of high impact pages, the ones you care the most about, get those working, and then expand. Don't do all of them at once unless you have the budget to actually do so. So lesson number 6, don't flood a new website with too many new pages. Launch 10 to 15 strong collection pages, revenue-focused pages first, and then grow. If you don't have a big budget to support all those new pages, this type of controlled rollout will get you results faster, even though it might not look like it just because you have less pages targeting these keywords. So you'll get quicker revenue growth and better cash flow overall, so then you can reinvest into keep on expanding this website. Lesson number 7. I work with a brand where we were very deliberate on how we used the homepage. We linked directly to the most important collection pages we wanted and to the best-selling products with clean href links. And this was part of the whole internal linking strategy of the website. And it was part of the strategy that helped us secure the number 1 rankings for the keywords and key terms that business cared about. But then, without us realizing, they suddenly redesigned the homepage. Over time, organic revenue was dropping. These pages that were really important to us, that had been in position number 1 for quite a while, they started sliding down those rankings and eventually settled somewhere between positions 6 and 8. The problem is the content on those pages hadn't changed. Like, we were paying close attention to them. And the optimization was on point. The search results hadn't changed that much. It's not like there was a massive shift, but there was a missing piece. Months later, we realized those key pages had been quietly removed from the homepage in this redesign. When we added the links back, rankings and revenue recovered. Within a couple of months, we were back in the top spots, and within the first couple of weeks, we had already been in top 3 positions, just, where there's way more revenue than down in positions 6 and 8. So lesson number 7 is to treat your homepage really as a power hub. You got to use it to link your highest earning collections and products. So all the authority from your website flows straight into those pages that are the most important to drive revenue and to lower the acquisition costs for your business. Lesson number 8. Most e-com stores, the themes, they ship with filter sidebars by default. So filters by color, size, price, and they also have the sorting option, sort A to C, sort by best selling, so sort from price high to low or low to high. And for one client, those filters had accidentally become the entire site structure. It was how the website was organized. No breadcrumbs, no parent categories and sub-collections or anything like that. No links between related categories. The only way to navigate was through these filters. And every filter click created a new URL with parameters. So it wasn't even the same URL. So what ended up happening was Google was burning crawl budget on thousands of pointless filter URLs instead of focusing all that time and resources in the core money pages of that website. When we rebuilt everything around a clear hierarchy, real categories, proper breadcrumbs, and interlinks, and filters stayed for users, but they stopped being the backbone of the site. And we also stopped Google from getting into that, so it only focused on the pages we wanted to. Google spent far less time crawling junk and far more time on the high value pages we cared about. So lesson number 8 is don't let filters define your structure. You got to build a clear category hierarchy with pages you can actually optimize for, and don't depend on filters on your site architecture. So I hope you enjoyed that video. These lessons were very painful to learn, so I hope they're quite helpful to you. If you want to keep learning about SEO, subscribe to the channel, as I'm going to be putting a lot more content that summarizes all the 5 years of experience in Ecommerce SEO that I have. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you.